everyone, today I am going to show you how to create a short comic strip. We're just going to do 3 panels, so each of these is called a panel. The space in between is called the gutter, and we're going to incorporate some things like thought bubbles and speech bubbles along with our characters that we create. So when you get started, there are plenty of templates online if you want to look for one. But I am actually just going to go ahead and use a Post-it as a stencil here to do my panels. Now, you can use the whole pad. That's probably actually easier to trace around, or just one. That's fine. You'll just have to slow down a little. But you want to try and line it up in the middle to get started. So try your best to find the middle. And then you're going to trace around it. And then the next step is to shift it over. And try and give yourself the same distance between the edge. So here and here should be about the same distance. And you're going to do that on the other side as well. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do the same thing. Now, once you have finished making your 3 panels, then we're going to create the characters next. So just using a pencil, you are going to follow some directions here. The first is to draw the face shape. And the reason that these are open on top is when we get to the hair, we can kind of choose what the hairline looks like. So you can choose any of these shapes. You can certainly make one up, but you want to kind of leave it open around the top. And you want it to be about in the middle. And then the next step, the second here, is to draw the neck and the shoulders. So you can make them, exaggerated. So you could do like really long. I could do like a really long skinny neck, or I could do a really wide short neck, or something a little bit more typical. So you can add that in. As far as shoulders go, same thing. You can make them really tiny. You can make them extra wide. So maybe on this one with the long neck, I'm going to make the shoulders really wide. Okay, or maybe they just kind of go straight down like that. And this one I'm going to go really short. And then the collar of the shirt, so you could do like a V or a U like that. All right, so then you're moving on to drawing hair. So you have to decide, obviously, if you want to do a little bit more of like a longer hairstyle, shorter hairstyle. You could certainly show the hair up as well. So for example, I could do something like this. And then maybe do like some kind of like little buns on each side there. When the hair is up or short, you also want to think about ears. You can do like half a heart or half an oval or half a circle shaped ear. So that's up to you to just kind of decide. And do long straight hair on this one. And then on this one over here, do some pretty extra large ears. I'm being kind of silly with that one. And then do some spiky hair. Okay, so when you go to add faces in, you should think a little bit about your storyline. So what kind of story are these characters telling? It could be, in this one, I have the first character with a thought bubble going, "What was that?" And the second one, she's saying, "Oops, I broke it, my bad." And in the third one, he's kind of looking kind of upset and saying, "Grr, what did she say?" So you can think about like either a joke you want to tell with your characters or a storyline, because the facial expression might matter. When someone's looking surprised, it makes sense. "Oh, what was that? I don't know. I'm surprised." Versus someone saying "grr," they might have an angry expression on their face. So you think about your story that you want to do, and then you can kind of add in the eyes, the nose, and the mouth based on your story. So in that one, they heard something. So in this one, let's say that I'm going to say that they're all going to be surprised because they can't figure out what's going on. So I'm going to use like really big eyes, surprise eyes. And it's kind of going to be a question of what's going on in that picture without actually seeing the thing that's happening. So another pair of surprise eyes here. So in each of these, their eyes are surprised. If I look at these, I've done that one. I think I'm going to do this one for the last one. So those are oval shaped. All right, so they're all surprised in this one. And then for noses, obviously, I don't think the nose really changes much with your expression, so I could really kind of pick any of these noses and they would be fine. And then after the different noses, then I would add in different mouths. So for surprised mouths, I might use some of these wider mouths. This kind of expression doesn't look as surprised as some of the other ones. So maybe something like that. And go really, really wide. And you can wait to color them in if you want. You don't have to color them in while you're doing it, because you could use a different color to color the mouth in. I'm going to do that really long one right there for the last one. All right, so once you've drawn the mouths, then you are going to add the dialogue or the speech bubbles. So there are different styles, and it kind of explains over here in the directions what they mean. So thought bubbles, you're going to use the little circles to lead up to the bubble versus a speech bubble where you can see it's attached. If something's screaming, then you use kind of the zigzag style. If they're hearing something coming out of like a TV or a phone, then it's actually kind of like a lightning bolt at the end. And then there's also the balloonless speech bubble, which I used here. So it's up to you to decide what kind of speech bubbles you want to use to tell your story. And then also think about adding in background elements. Are they inside or are they outside? You know, what's going to help tell that story? You know, is it a joke? Is there, you know, an object that is involved in what's happening? You know, maybe this is, these are all players on a team and something happened and they're all shocked by it. So maybe they're out on a field somewhere playing baseball, or they're in a gym playing volleyball. So you have to decide what makes sense for your dialogue and your background depending on what you're telling the story with your characters. And then once that's done, typically if you are a cartoonist, you would use more of like a black marker to kind of trace things with and make them stand out. So you might want to think about using a black marker of some kind to trace your pencil lines with before you color. And then I recommend coloring with the colored pencils. If you have markers, that's fine too. But you just want to take your time and make sure you do your 3-star coloring when you color it in. So I hope you have fun. Enjoy making your comic strip.